nigga, that be the gang. Same nigga I used to be. Fried niggas get used to me. Dead man, if you fool with me, say that for your eulogy.
Alright y'all, so we are back with another Mobile Legends video. If you don't know this, the most viewed thing in Mobile Legends history is Mobile Legends gameplay. So we have Mobile Legends gameplay that gets millions and millions of views every single day, but do you still get paired with teammates and stuff who can't play well? The answer is probably yes. You get paired with people who don't really know what they're doing, and 9 times out of 10, these same people that you get paired with, they watch Mobile Legends gameplay. But the thing about watching Mobile Legends gameplay is you don't always know what you're looking for, and you just don't know what you don't know. You can't know certain things. Like if you're not some type of boxing coach, when you watch a boxer, you're not going to notice things like the way they move off of their pivot foot, like which foot they plant on the ground before they throw a certain type of punch or whatever. Like no one looks at stuff like that. So this is what we're going to be going through in these gameplays and analyzing. I'm going to be trying to help show you all some things that you might not see when you're watching some of the best players in the world, because you all have been watching their content for a long time. The community has been watching their content for a long time. Now it's time for you to actually see some of the things that you might be missing when you're watching their content. So we're jumping straight into it. This is the homie Doof. He's one of the best mage players. He's very known for Gusion. That's how I heard about him. But he's really good with a lot of different heroes. But yeah, we're going to be checking him out. So starting out, he looks like they're setting up in the mid lane. Notice right here, this is where a lot of us noob Gusions make mistakes at right here. So notice how when Minotaur walked up, he did not hit Minotaur. He didn't even waste his time. Why? Because Minotaur has heals, and also he can clear the lane faster. He also used his retribution on the lane. So look at this. By the time he gets to the crab, using that retribution in the mid lane that early, by the time he gets to the crab, he'll have retribution back. So look at this. Retribution will be up in about 5 seconds. He's going to be able to take this out, and by the time he gets there and deal a little bit of damage, he'll have his retribution back so he can retribution the buff. The crab. As you can see, retribution has returned. Gets it low, then uses retribution on that. He's used retribution twice within the first minute of the game, and he's secured 2 valuable things. Using it in the mid lane allowed him to rotate faster, and also using it at gold, if it was contested, that would have made it a lot easier to make a play. Also, look at this combo. This is one thing that I mess up on a lot of times when I'm playing Gusion. So look, he grabs her, then he does this. How many people throw out this first ability first, then try to hook on to something? Notice how he hooked on to her first. Notice how he, like, honestly, that was one thing that I played Gusion for a while, and I didn't know that you wasn't supposed to throw them out first. Yeah, like all the time. Obviously, certain situations, that's what we're going to really be focusing on. A hero like Claude is all about stacks. A hero like Gusion is all about combos. It's basically using a combo in the best way possible to deal the most damage. Sometimes that means using your first ability and hooking on to somebody. Other times, it's all about using your second ability and your ultimate. But what you're going to be seeing is Doof, he does multiple different combinations for different situations. And he has these different situations and different combinations for those situations on lock. So I'm going to be pointing out a few of them. I'm going to show you all some of the mistakes that I've made playing Gusion. And some mistakes I still make. Like I'm not a really good Gusion player. It's not something that I practice. And it's very rare that I use like meta heroes super seriously anyway. So that's part of the reason that it takes me a bit. Okay, look at that. So he hooked on, he went up, attacked him, and then hit his ultimate, attacked him again, and burst him down. Like, and he did it super fast before he could walk away, before he could escape. Hand speed obviously gives you a huge advantage, because if you're not fast when you're using a hero like Gusion, all of the daggers might not get there in time before the enemy can escape. That's why speed is very important when you're using a hero like Gusion. But look at him rotating back to go and get the buff. at this point in time, you all, we pretty much talked about rotations and stuff a lot, so we're not going to focus too heavily on rotations and stuff all that time. You basically know at this point. You go and target the highest value targets, and luckily, their late game hero and their strongest hero on their team is in the same lane right here. So this makes this a pretty easy lane to gank. Yeah, he went in a bad position right there. Yeah, because of how they were laning, it was very obvious. Right here. Okay. This right here. This is very important. What I usually do right here is I throw out my first ability, I throw out my second ability, then I use my ultimate, throw out the second ability, then I hook onto it and go over there and kill the buff like that. But he used his ultimate. Notice he didn't use the second ability. I would have used my second ability already and wasted that damage. But when he hooks on, then he uses second ability. So now, because he's so close, the second ability is this buff is gonna take all the damage from him throwing out that second ability. He throws it out, the buff takes 100% of the damage because he's so close. Then he's gonna call him back in, and all of it's gonna just make it, basically he's gonna take all that damage. So this is a much more productive way to not waste your ultimate and to make sure your target, whatever the target is, whether it's the buff or actual person, actually takes the full amount of damage you want to hit them with. So yeah, that's something that I mess up on a lot, because I waste my abilities a lot because I don't make sure I'm hooked on the targets first. Yeah, they're in a big fights going on right now. He's gonna be able to take this tower. He should, I think. Yeah, they got that tower. Notice he's using his first ability to poke at people, and sometimes die, depending on who he gets with it. Look at him gathering information, trying to see if he should go in. Yeah, that was unavoidable. They dove. They had a Minotaur he could heal. That was a situation he couldn't really get out of. Look at that. He did the same thing when it came to getting the buff. Now he's going to use his second ability. Notice how he really takes advantage of the damage that he outputs. He makes sure to finish buffs and stuff very fast because of how he uses his abilities.
You have slain an enemy. Double kill.
Got a quick double kill off.
Enemy killing spree. Shut down.
And then he still dealt a lot of damage to that whole little group. His team is rotating, actually helping out in a lot of the fights as well, so that's good. But then again, it is a few members from his own squad playing.
An ally has slain the turtle.
Notice how he's pushing lanes. Now he's waiting to ambush somebody. Now this is another combo. Look at that. So another mistake that a noob Gusion player makes, and I know this because I make it all the time, is trying to hook on to somebody with your first ability first at every single time. I would have tried to throw this out and hook on to one of them. Watch what Doof does. He used the second ability. He throws it over the wall. He instantly uses the ultimate to jump over the wall. Then he hits the second ability again. He hits the second ability again, and then he calls all the daggers back to take out the last one. So obviously, since Granger is a squishy marksman, just using his first two abilities like that, just using the second ability, the ultimate, then that was enough to take out the marksman. Then he called it all back in because he needed a little bit extra to take out the Harith, because Harith is a little bit more tanky than a marksman. And yeah, absolutely destroyed them. Look at this, watch it again. Notice how he didn't use his first ability until the end. He needed a little bit more damage to kill Harith, so he finished Harith off by throwing that first ability at him. So that's something that I never used to notice before. I never noticed that sometimes it's the best thing to do is to not use your first ability and go single one target out. Sometimes you can get multiple targets if you just start off with your second ability, go in with your ultimate, and use your second ability again. So it's not always smart to try to mark somebody with your first ability first. Change up the combos you use per situation.
Your team destroyed a turret.
So this, like, honestly, watching Doof play, he's really the one who I watched that I learned a lot from when it comes down to Gusion. Cause I'm gonna tell you, before I start watching him and before I start noticing these little things, these little details, bro, I would be going like 0 and 8 and stuff like that with Gusion. Like, let's see what combo he used right there. Really pay attention to the combos. So he did the same one. That's deadly. Notice how many of you, like, in the comment section, be serious. How many of you try to hit somebody with the first skill first every single time? Notice how he jumps in again without using that first ability. He initiated with his second ability, then third, and then to finish off the last person, he always uses that first ability. He has a first ability to make sure whoever's left gets like all of it. So yeah, man, like this is, it's a lot you can really learn. Oh, he's dead. Let's see the combo there. Like, you really gotta pay attention to the combos. I'm really okay. So he uses the same combo. So it looks like that's one of his go-to deadly combos. The first you throw him out there, then you hit your ultimate, then you throw him out there again, then you use the first ability, and they're dead. Like, once they get hit with that, now he can just go at them and pull all the daggers back in. No escaping that. No escaping that. So that's the combo. Looks like the combo is 2-3-2. What is that? 2-3-2. Then call him back, or use one and call him back. It's like it's very, very situational, man. It's very situational. But you can see, starting off with that second ability, hitting that ultimate, using that second ability again. That's how he gets a lot of his multi-kills. And it makes sense, because if you start off by attacking somebody with your first ability, that's really going to limit where that damage goes. Suicide technique. But he took out the marksman. Low key, it wasn't a terrible decision. And he probably would have had them if the Guinevere didn't just come jumping out from out of nowhere. So that wasn't like just a completely bad move.
An enemy has been slain.
Because if he could have took out Harith, honestly, Minotaur by himself wouldn't have been able to stop Gusion. Notice how he checked the bush, but it was too late by the time he checked the bush. Yep. Bro, that's his same kill combo.
An enemy has been slain. Launch attack.
And I'm gonna be completely honest with you. Like I said, like, I learned a lot from him. I never used to do this combo. Never. I never even, like, I always thought you just had to hook somebody first, because that's what it felt like. When you on the other side of Gusion, it's just like, all you feel is you get hit by him and you're like, come on, man, don't die at me. Like, you get nervous. You're like, you know he's finna come in and it's just finna be over with for you. So when you're only going against Gusion, you never really can tell what type of combos you're getting hit with and stuff like that. but when you actually watch the gameplay, it is a lot that you can learn. This time he uses the ultimate to evade.
You have slain an enemy.
Yeah. And he's fed. All he gotta do is he can burst people down with that second ability alone right now. Honestly, Gusion is a lot easier to play when you know to switch up the combos and stuff like that. Gusion is just really way easier, like so much easier. Now, obviously, it still takes skill to land like the first abilities and knowing what situations to use what in,
Initiate retreat.
and knowing when to dive and not be greedy and stuff like that. Like honestly, once you know the combinations for any hero, it really comes down a lot to decision making. And not being greedy, stuff like that. Because I think that's the most important thing, honestly, not being greedy. And anybody can really go crazy. Like once you actually have learned the combos and once you get the mechanical skill down, what separates the players is going to be basically decisions. Who to dive, when to dive them, what abilities to use, what combo to use when you're diving, like stuff like that. Doing the right thing at the right time. Because if you do the wrong thing, that's what ends up getting you killed. But the one thing about Doof is obviously he just doesn't make a bunch of mistakes. Like when he uses his abilities and his skills, it's at the right times. It's the best thing he could have done for that situation. Like, oh, he messed up right there. He could have had her. I don't know what she was thinking, like he wasn't just gonna destroy her. I don't know why anyone would be jumping in trying to die when a Gusion's around who has 20 kills and 9 assists. This man has a 29 KDA. And you're jumping in at him like that? He's gonna go for Harith? Yeah, that's what makes the most sense right there. Out of all those people, Harith, it made the most sense to go for him. Then he takes out the marksman next.
Initiate retreat.
Notice his targeting too, targeting the right people at the right times. Harith was in a position where he was basically overextended. Even though he was in his own base, he was overextended still. Then the next person who overextended was Granger. He was in range of that combo. But look like that's it, man. That's pretty much it for this video. That was the homie Doof, yo. So as we can see, he dealt 105,000 damage. He went crazy this game, yo. So hopefully this helped you. Hopefully breaking this down helped you a lot. I know, like, this is what I do. This is how I improve. Like sometimes people be asking me how I get better so quick and stuff like that, because I did just go from being epic like a few months ago to being able to hit mythic 3 different times in one season type stuff. So this is how, like, I literally analyze certain heroes, certain people playing certain heroes, break it down, see what they're doing that I don't do. You have to really be real with yourself, be critical. If you buns with a hero, see what you're doing wrong with that hero. Watch somebody better than you, and that's how you get that. That's how you learn. But don't just watch somebody better than you. Really analyze what they're doing. But that's pretty much it, yo. Hopefully this was helpful. If it was, make sure you drop that thumbs up, subscribe to the channel down below. Also, comment down below what other heroes and stuff would you like to see me go over and analyze and break down for you all that you really want to learn how to play. And yeah, I'm gonna catch you all on the next one, family. Peace out, homies.
I'm on it. Can't fail for my family, I want it. So they'll never need hope or want it. A break, just something